So this is a collab effort between two growing channels.
A long overdue collab effort.
A long overdue collab effort, and you're going to see more of them because,
I hope so.
because we've got two pretty awesome things going here. So my name's Rick. My channel is Games and Drinks.
I'm Lou, and my channel is We Are the Cave People, I think.
Or the
Cave People.
It's the Cave People at We Are the Cave People.
Okay, the Cave People at We Are the Cave People.
In the description, there will be information on both of the channels, plus you've just seen them right down here as well. So,
and if you find your way to our old channel, please find your way to
the new channel.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. So every year we do a big event, and it's called CapCon, and this is something that we put together to just kind of be together for a weekend and get away from the families and just kind of like play games like we used to. Because if you can believe it, I remember a time when this guy and I used to stand behind the game store at 2 in the morning on a weeknight to wax philosophic about miniatures wargaming.
Wednesday nights, yeah.
Yeah. So with careers and jobs and everything, that's not a thing. But at this event, we talked a lot about like the community that's this kind of sprung up around gaming for us and how much that's really meant to us. So we wanted to tell that story and talk a little bit about that journey so that if you were ever thinking about, should I get into this hobby or what, the answer is yes, you should. And for you, I know you've had a lot of milestones on the journey too. That are pretty significant. So I guess the first thing is, I guess we'll just talk about a little bit like our kind of journey into gaming and where it's led us and how we got here. And
okay, so where do we want to stop though before we get into like?
Where do we want to
stop? The
start
of maybe CapCon.
Oh,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Where do you stop your own personal story and then start?
I mean, it never stops.
Okay.
But I mean, I would say like, just how did you get to like the current era?
Gotcha. Okay. I'll let you go first.
Okay. So for me,
because these are important stories to tell.
Yeah.
I really think this. I think that this is a video that I think a lot of people need to see. This needs to get high visibility here. And you're going to see why. But yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. So for me, it started like the gaming journey had like two entry points, and the first one was in high school. So my parents divorced when I was very young, and my stepfather, who is the goofiest dude you'd ever want to meet.
Great dude.
Great dude. He was really looking for things to connect with me and my stepbrother, and to a lesser extent my sister on. And so he was just kind of looking for stuff. Like I was a big reader. I did some sports, but not a ton when I was younger. And he settled on one night. He brings home the starter box for first edition Dungeons and Dragons.
This is great. I love it.
So we all created characters and we all poured over the books, and it was great just reading all of it and reading all of the different stuff, and I just consumed it. It was pre-internet, so like you had to just read the books and come up with your own stuff. There was no pre-planned. And so we created our first characters, and he was the dungeon master. And he did all the like big scary like I'm a troll and I'm Tooch the dwarf and all that kind of stuff. And we just loved it. And that was a thing that really led to the three of us getting a lot closer, was just like those nights we would play D&D. And then he made something of a tactical mistake, and he brought home a card game called Magic the Gathering.
There you go.
And that became the beginning of a love-hate relationship for sure. And then much later on, after I was out of high school, because I was derailed a little bit in high school because I discovered girls, which derailed my journey just a little bit.
Happens.
Yeah,
it's excusable.
Yeah. When I was in college, my sophomore year at Miami, my roommate discovered something called the Strategy Gaming Club, and that is where I met 20 years ago. This guy, not this guy, but the guy that's on the screen right now, who ended up being the best man at my wedding, and we've been friends for 20 years. And he was playing Mage Knight, and I'm like, that is pretty cool. Tell me a little bit more about that. And we ended up playing a lot of D&D and Pathfinder and board games and everything just through this gaming club that kind of became a social circle. And then later, this very same guy said, we should try a miniatures war game for real. And so he researched it, because that's what he did. And he settled on a game called War Machine. And he's like, this looks neat. All right. So we're at Gen Con. We both buy boxes. We buy all this stuff. And then we wandered into a store called Yada Quest, which was the scene in Cincinnati back in the day. And that's where I stumbled upon this guy and many, many others. And that's really kind of like begun this whole community. So another thing that is like for me very significant is, I'll show you this right here, which is, this is my wedding party. This is everyone in, all of my groomsmen and the guy who married me. Every single person in this party came from like a gaming relationship. It was all people that I played minis with, that came out of that larger friend group. So many of the people that attended my wedding and were significant in my wedding came out of that gaming group. And it's just, we've built these relationships that have lasted 10, 15, 20 years. And it's just been in such an incredible journey. And lately, as I've reflected on like my nostalgia for some games, and one of them being War Machine, it's like I realize that what I was so nostalgic for was not the games, but it's the community. And that's why, like, the fact that we are all privileged enough to get together a couple times a year and just be in our 20s again, essentially, is just so incredible, because it's really built that community around us. And it's like when my father passed, and when my dog recently passed, it's like all the people that have been around for me have been the people in that group. And it's really just become this incredible community, an incredible family that just transcends like any other friend group I've ever had. And it really all started because, one day a guy said, hey, let's play a minis game. And then a lot before that, there was somebody who just really wanted to bond with me and took the time. And it just led to all of this. So that's me.
That's good, man.
Tell me a little bit about yours, because I've heard some of it.
Yeah, so I struggled with where I was going to start this whole story, but I think I'm just going to go way back. So I, like you, came from a separated family. My parents divorced. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, before that happened, the first time that I saw like what I would call a game, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm in Melrose Park, which is a suburb of Chicago, and we're there for the Italian feast. And we're over at my dad's buddy's house. And on the TV is something I've never seen before, and it was just fascinating, right? And it's this little guy jumping over these mushrooms and, I don't know, getting a star and shining and all this stuff and running around. And I'm like, what is that? Like,
and he's even Italian.
Yeah. And it's an Italian plumber, right? And so I'm like, I have to see what this is, and I've got to get on board with this. And that was, so like video games are really how it started. But when I was growing up, we played a lot of roll and move game, like Monopoly and Life, and games that stink, honestly. But
that's what we had.
It's what we had, yeah. And my dad introduced me to Stratego, and that was probably like the first game where I actually got to think about things and strategize a little bit. And so, I would say that kickstarted a lot of things for me. Was like Mario, video games, Stratego, next level. And then when my parents separated and divorced, I went into a kind of like a little soul-searching moment, I guess, as like a really young person, and trying to find my friends and who was there, who would be there for me to support me through this I don't know, this event that I was experiencing as like an 11, 12-year-old kid. And I found a group of people who played a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And I was, they were like, hey man, you should come play D&D with us on Friday. We play all night long and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool, what is it? And they're like, oh, well, we roll dice and we talk through things. And I'm like, well, that sounds boring. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not a game. Like, what is that? Nerdy. Right. Yeah. I'm like, that's terrible. So anyway, I met up with them, tried it out. I immediately fell in love. I was like, I'm ready to roll out like 5 characters here and just blast through adventure after adventure. And it was through that experience I eventually fell out with those guys and met a couple of other guys in school who, to this day, are like my core best friends growing up. and we still stay in touch. We text each other pretty much every other day, maybe, and talk about things. And so, second edition D&D is how we started, and we played, every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night. We would just order pizza, play all night. My dad would wake up, get mad at us for not doing chores and all that. We'd have massive sleepovers. And then we got started with Magic, too. So we were at the card store, shopping baseball cards, and...
What's that?
Yeah, right. And the card dealer's like, hey, I have this new thing that came in. If you guys want to check it out. And we're like, no, we don't want to check it out. It looks really dumb. But anyway, that was back when, I guess, alpha packs were, I don't know, it's like 75 cents a piece. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. Anyway, so played a little Magic, and then kind of lost the sense of board games for a while. Like, didn't really play. All I played I was strictly an RPG role player, and then video gamer. And then when I got to probably my junior, senior year of high school, freshman year of college, I started playing Axis and Allies.
Oh, another good one, another classic.
Right. So I was like, this is cool. I like war games. I like combat. I like strategy. So that and Risk, those were the two starters for me. Yeah.
That was the biggest one for me when I was young.
And those were different, right? They were different from what, like Monopoly Life and all those sorts of things. And so that, I don't know, it got started there, and then I started playing with my cousin, and then started playing with my buddies, and then I joined the military out of college. And so for a while, I was like really lost, and again, searching for friends. And I found them through playing Magic, like in the military. I found guys that played Magic, and so we played Magic, the Gathering. And then we went on and, like all in, right? Hardcore competitive Magic. And while I was there, then I started to really get introduced to good board games. So like Ticket to Ride and things like that. Catan was one of the first games I played, which is a lot of people's entry point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was this game called War Machine that like showed up. Now, I played 40K before that, so I was, already familiar with miniatures gaming. But War Machine was different. It was skirmish-based. It was, the rule book was written in such a way. I mean, you already know what we're going to talk about here, right? All that page 5 material.
Yep.
They just got you excited to play it.
Yeah, it was. It was an exciting game.
It was unreal. It's the first time that you could, like, feel what was happening on the table. Like, oh, I can arm lock you, I can throw you, I can slam you, I can do all this crazy stuff. We're not just sitting across the table shooting each other and rolling a bunch of dice. Like, this game is awesome. And the combat system is great. And it's probably still great now.
And the models dripped with flavor. Like,
oh God,
yeah.
dude. Those original models, and it's heavy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, it was just so pure. And so when I was in New Mexico, I started doing that. That's 06. So I got out of the military. And again, I moved to Cincinnati. My wife was from here. And I didn't know anyone here in the city at all. And once again, searching for friends, searching for a group to play with, someone to settle in with. And I went to every game store in the city. I mean, and when I say every game store, I mean every game store. All the way back to like Illuminati, right? Yeah. Illuminati, Yada Quest, Ivory Tower. I mean, all these places. The place in the mall that closed shortly after that. Sci-Fi City, yeah, there you go. And could not find a steady group of people that were willing to pick this game up and play it and come with me. There was the CAG people. They were a 40K group.
Yeah.
Never really kind of, settled in with them very much. So I was just at Yada Quest on their War Machine night, and I show up as the only guy there with War Machine models. And so I'm sitting there, and I met a guy named Ryan Dawes, who used to work there too. And he's like, hey, I play some War Machine. I'm like, all right, cool, you want to play? So we played, and we played a game. And it was awesome. And so we became, friends. And then a couple weeks later, this guy rolls in with Beck.
Yep.
And, I'm like, okay, now we got 4 people. It's almost a community, right? And here we are playing these games. And then Mark Rydell shows up, and Quentin, and Shane.
And the Nicks, and the
Bryans,
Nicks,
right. And Nick from this channel.
Yeah.
Whose face you don't see.
And, and Chad. from this channel as well was he came later.
Well, that was later, but yeah. So
he was later.
But Nick, I mean, fresh out of college, right? Purdue guy. So he comes in, needing friends, finds us. Here we are, welcoming him in the group.
And
Chad
and Sean and
right.
Yeah, so my wife's brother was a part of that group, and it just started growing and just really kind of became something.
Yeah,
for sure. And Jake, who still plays in somewhere in Kentucky, and his friend, and there's several Dans, just
it's
all over the
nuts
place.
to think about the number of people that we serviced.
Yeah.
I mean, just through War Machine Night, right? And so then Gen Con happened. Mm-hmm. 09 was my first Gen Con experience.
Oh, we got that too.
You did?
Yeah. Well, I think it was. Oh no, it was 10. It was 10 was our first. Like where we did all the for the podcast.
Oh, 10 was the first for the podcast.
Yeah, for the podcast.
Right. But 09 was my first, the first time we all went together.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect. I had no clue. You guys had been there 1 year, I think, or 2 years?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. But you did a fantastic job showing me around, showing me what's like. It was great. And Gen Con was incredible. I had never seen anything like it. And I immediately wanted all of it all the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. So I guess the idea is that every time that I needed a group to settle in with or needed to find friends, I was able to find them through gaming. And I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's a reason to start this hobby or get into this hobby, because you have a community of people that are like-minded and going to come together. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I think not so much now, but there was a time when the stereotype was that gamers were like a basement-dwelling, solitary people.
Right.
But I don't think that's ever necessarily been the case, because at its heart, most types of gaming, especially board, table, any kind of tabletop gaming, is inherently social activity. So that's where gamers have always, I felt, been very social among each other. And that's where every time we've done it, every time we've been in a gaming group, it grows. It's just, I think we find those like-minded people who just are looking for some kind of community to be a part of, or want to find like-minded, open, accepting people, and it's just always been there. Now we could do a better job as a whole.
Sure, of course.
We could do a better job, and I hope that we continue to do a better job. But yeah, it's same for me. It's always been the community has always been there at large for me when I've needed something or looked for something.
And it's just a melting pot of people, right? Mm-hmm. Like you say, right? The stigma was there about basement dwelling people who basically had no friends and all that, but it's not true, really. I mean, we all came from different walks of life. I mean, I was an athlete growing up, and that was my passion or whatever. Rick had something else that he had, and Nick was, he's into theater and drama and that sort of thing, and dancing, and so we're all different, very, very different, and we come together for this one thing. And I think that's what makes it special for me, is that we can keep coming back every week. I don't know, every year, whatever it is, and we just pick up right where we left off. And it's not, I'm saying I don't know. It's just an incredible community of people, and it's gotten massive.
Yeah, it really has. I in fact, I remember telling you after a few beverages at Cabin Con, one of the things I'm proudest of in my life is, and I've already told my wife this, so when she watches this, I don't have to apologize.
Does she watch your videos?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Well, she tells me.
My wife doesn't watch.
Well, the last time I confirmed she watched, she was like, that shelf is messy. You got to clean it up.
Oh, okay. So that's how you know.
I know she watches sometimes. But one of the things I'm proudest of in my life is our Cabin Con event, and that's because, not of what it is, because it's only a medium logistical nightmare, but what it represents, and that is just this big group of people coming together to hang out, play games with each other, get caught up with one another. We have people that come in from out of town that we don't see a lot, and they're coming, like I said, to catch up with us, and really we get to hear about Mark's kids and what they're doing, and we get to hear about your kids and what's going on in your life, and just anyone we don't catch up with regularly, that becomes a time to do it. And it's not just all about gaming. It's a lot about just where we are and what we're doing. Like, it's like someone like Jorge has such a cool perspective on a lot of things. We met him through gaming, but
Oh yeah.
he's got so much more to offer
Yes.
than just, bringing games and having the newest, hottest board game, whatever, right? It's like sitting down and getting a chance to talk to him over a beer or whatever is one of the highlights of a gaming-themed event. And I think that diversity of interest and perspective like really serves us well, because I've learned about a lot of things I never necessarily would have learned about through this hobby, and become fans of things I wouldn't necessarily have been a fan of had I not met people through it. And I just think that's the coolest thing. And something you can't do in your basement by yourself.
No, you can't. And I think it's really cool to watch how people have grown over time. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. You always talk about like, well, I had friends in high school, blah, 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 whatever. But we became friends as adults, and everyone that's part of this group became a friend as an adult. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Nobody was part of a high school group, right?
No.
That's part of this now. I don't think so. Everyone,
No, it's all college or later.
right, came together as a post-college or whatever you want to say. So, like, Rick has been there to watch. My kids were born in the middle of this entire thing. I mean, and now my son's 13, and he does a YouTube channel. Like, so those are the kinds of things. We've had life-altering events happen to some of the people in our friend group, and we've been there to support them, love them through it, whatever. And we've had some tragedy too, that we've been there to support each other and love one another and pick each other up. Like, that's the important part of having a gaming group and being together no matter what happens. So, like, you're right. It's not just about the games. It's about life. Mm-hmm. And it's about coming together and just loving each other, man. I don't know. And to me, it's just so awesome to have all that all the time.
The gaming is our excuse to get together.
You're right.
It's the rest of the things that are important. I think that's what you're saying, is that like it is actually secondary. It might become the reason that we get together every week, every month, every few months, but the important thing is everything that goes around it, right? Like, and the fact that we can go some time without seeing someone, like our friends from out of town, but then they come back and do an event with us, and it's like they never left. Like, I have my buddy Brian in Seattle. We see him literally once a year. I've known him since college. He lives in Seattle. He comes in once a year for Gen Con, and we get to have dinner with him every year before he leaves us in LARPs. But it's always a good dinner, and it's always a good, like, having drinks with him and just getting caught up on
He does do True Dungeon.
His kids. He does do True Dungeon with us, but we always give him crap because, like, he has dinner, he disappears for a few days.
He's just LARPing all hours of the day. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true, but
it's like 2:30 in the morning. He has LARP.
Yeah, but that time we get in between the LARPs, when we get to, like, the one year he dressed up as Fred, and we just got to hear all about this cool thing, Scooby-Doo Cthulhu LARP he did, like, and then just like I met his kid, like, he was one of those guys that back in college you're like, oh, this guy has kids now, and like he's just become this incredible guy with really cool kids, and I saw all of that. Same with this guy, right? Like, I remember when you were a chef, and then that journey just kind of like progressed. And then when your wife was pregnant, when Dan's wife was pregnant, Mark's wife was pregnant, like weddings, funerals, like the whole thing. Like we've done all of it, and it's just been such an incredible journey to see. And now that like when I watched like your video where your son is having like super adult cohesive thoughts on Transgalactica is a cool thing to see, because I remember when Lewis just kind of ran around in circles when we were playing games. Yeah, exactly. And now he's like, hey, these are the things I like about this game.
He's going to hate that I said that, but it's true.
Yeah, I I ran around in circles in diapers at one point. So, but it's so cool to see that like he and Mina are now like thinking about games in a way that I think about them at 40. Like they're starting to do now in their teens. Like it's an incredible thing. Dan's daughter is a cosplayer who
Right, we
cosplayed
found that. I found that out for the first time at Gen Con.
At Gen Con, and that's
they were legit. Like, they were.
Yeah, and she's very talented.
whole group.
I didn't get to see. Unfortunately, I didn't run across them, but
Oh, you didn't?
no, I didn't.
Oh, we
but
saw the whole group, man.
Yeah.
It was
she
awesome.
and her friends. He said
Yeah.
their costumes were really neat, and I was.
They were really good.
Yeah, and so it's just seeing people become parents and seeing the way like them, and then start passing this along to their kids is also just such an incredible thing. And it becomes, I can't speak about that, but I'm sure you can, about how it becomes a bonding thing and how it becomes like something you pass along and share.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, starting a YouTube channel was a reason, or gave us a reason to come together as a gaming family, right? You know, it's one of those things where I can like run up to Lewis's room and be like, "Hey, dude, we should probably film something." And he's like, "Okay, fine," you know, or whatever. You know, he's 13, so he hates everything and everyone right now.
He's at that age where, yeah,
like 50% of the time, he doesn't want to be bothered with anything, and then the other 50% of the time, he's wondering why you're not bothering him. So you can't win for losing, but on the days that we do, and we get to the table and we get something out, and you know, it's exciting, and I am happy to share my passion for gaming with them. They're picking it up, and it's something that they love now too, and are also starting to get their friends kind of involved, which is neat to see. They're already building those, you know, sub communities of what we have already established. So I don't know, it's awesome, and I love having that time with my kids. You know, it's precious because childhoods are precious.
Yeah.
And, you know, my kid probably 5 years from now isn't going to really want much to do with me for a while, right? When he goes off to college
it happens at all.
Goes through the phases, right? Like, he's going to find girls and all these other things, and he's not going to want to hang out with his dad in the basement.
I always say, like, the thing that prevented me from being... I mean, the thing that prevented me from being an Eagle Scout was me. Like, I'm not going to put the blame on anyone else, but it was my discovering the fairer sex in in high school that kind of led down that. But again, that's on me, not anyone else. But and it's like, for me, it is also like I myself am not a Disney person. My wife is, but the last time I went to Disney, I went with my my niece and nephew, and seeing something like Disney through their eyes is an amazing thing, because it reminds you of a time when you felt that way.
Right.
And in gaming, like in many things, like when I've got the wall of shame behind me, well, we called it the wall of fame, the wall of shame, the wall of whatever makes sense at the time. It's so easy to get jaded when you've got so much stuff, you've played so much stuff, like you spent hours with all of these things. And unboxing your newest thing just becomes like okay, I'm going to do this. It's not like it was. But watching a kid unbox like a new thing is awesome, because you just kind of, it makes you like recapture a little bit of that. Oh, I remember when opening a new board game was like the most exciting thing I could do.
Still pretty exciting.
It is still pretty exciting. Like,
not gonna lie.
Yeah,
for me, it's exciting.
It's still exciting, but it's never like when you're young and things are like amped up to 11.
I know what you're saying.
But that's why like the next generation is important too, and I think when we start seeing those, I mean, I'm looking out for the time when we start seeing some of them show up at stuff like Cap and Con, maybe even if it's just before things get rowdy.
Chad's daughter came to Cap and Con.
That's true. She did. I forget. How could I forget? Yeah. So it's already happening, and we love to see it. And that's
Griffin came to Gen Con.
That's true. Because I remember he sharked a bunch of people at Magic that year.
Yeah. And then he bought a bunch of games and taught some to us. That was cool because
that was neat.
I remember him being like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid playing War Machine. Remember building his castle with all of his buildings?
Yep.
Like, not really playing by the rules, but just having fun.
And now married.
Right.
Just saw him at his sister's
successful
graduation party recently, and could not believe it. It's crazy where things go. So overall, what would you say is like the most important or the most...
I wasn't prepared for questions, but okay.
Yeah. The most important or the most impactful thing that's happened to you in the journey along the way?
Like in my own personal life?
Yeah, in your own personal, like in this conversation, in the gaming journey, what do you think is the most important, impactful thing that you've done or that's happened to you?
You're gonna have to give me a minute on that one.
Okay, well I can edit this piece out.
You're gonna go.
Okay, I can go. Mine's
Because I gotta think.
Yeah, mine is actually pretty easy. So because I talked about it before, and that is when because we talked about this a lot at my wedding, and it was when we were looking for a place to play War Machine. I was nervous about it because throughout my life, I can be very slow to warm to new people. Like, it takes me a minute. So I was kind of like reticent to go and just like throw stuff on the table and put myself out there. But I was talked into going by a friend of 20 plus years. You know, we should just do it and rip the Band-Aid off and whatever. And I'm so glad I did, because not only did that lead to so much of what my life has become, but it also like has helped me in subsequent situations where sometimes you just got to put yourself out there and you know, for better or for worse. And it was an important lesson that I learned, and it led to a lot of non-gaming related achievements for me, like personally, professionally, just because of that time back in the day when I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Let's go do it.
That's yours?
That's mine.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I thought about this. I think I got it. I'm gonna say something here, and it might sound weird, but when I got out of the military, when I moved here, Cincinnati, I was not well adjusted, and finding a community of people, and it was slow, but at first, but it happened, and I was willing to wait and be patient with it. Honestly, probably saved my life, and in more ways than I'm not like in the literal sense, but more like I was able to find myself and refine joy in being here and you know, entering into the civilian world outside of what I was doing before, and so you know, because I really didn't. I was very mentally ill. You know, probably turned into the wrong things, and these guys, they saved my life, man. They picked me up and brought me in and were willing to play games with me and put up with my BS, and still to this day are willing to do all that too. Because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I know that, and that's just me. But, you know, I don't know. The level of acceptance and friendship and love, it's just that's it right there. It just changed my life, and it saved my life. It really did. I you know, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where I'd be without the gaming community. I can honestly say that, like, and mean it sincerely.
Yeah, just being there in the good times, being there in the bad times, just being there. Like, I can't remember who said it. I can't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing at one point that, like, 90% of being a parent, a friend, or whatever is showing up. And that's really, I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard a truer thing in my life, is just showing up. And then we show up for one another, we show up for one thing, we show up for another thing, and it just builds upon itself. And because there's been some down times in my life too. My first go of college was rough for me, because I came from a spot where my whole family was within 20 minutes of one another, and then they were nowhere to be found. So, like, early on, without the support system I was accustomed to, those were hard times as well. But that's where all the people I met throughout my life, especially in the gaming community, picked me up, and it's been great ever since. So I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So if you are, and maybe it's redundant, but I feel like it's a good message. If you are talking to somebody about why this, like if I want a hobby, right? Why shouldn't I just go play PUBG or whatever the kids are playing these days? Okay. Marvel Rivals, like, okay, I can either play Marvel Rivals, or I can go to my local board game club. Why should I go to my local board game club?
You should go to your local board game club, because board gaming is immersive, and interactive and face-to-face. And I think that is the most important aspect of gaming, cardboard style gaming is. Like, I love BGA. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like to pound away on games on Board Game Arena, and I have friends on BGA who I've never met or have met once, at Gen Con or something, but this is what matters, right? Like the interactive experience that we have together and that we share. You're able to see the emotion, understand the tonality. You can get to know someone real fast. You want to know somebody, sit down for 3 hours and play a crunchy game with them.
Oh boy!
And you're gonna know exactly what type of person they are. Honestly,
yeah, for sure.
It's like golfing with someone, right? 18 holes of golf with somebody, you're gonna know that person real well all of a sudden. So this is why you should do that. And if you're looking for people to interact with and have true friendships with, meaningful friendships and relationships that you can bond. This is something you can bond over and do that, and that's 100% why you should do it. Honestly,
and it's funny you talk about Board Game Arena because I remember COVID. And like we did like Zoom RPG sessions, and we tried to do we did Among Us on Zoom, we did board games on Zoom a little bit, but nothing is ever really the same as being in a room with 4 or 5 of your closest friends just to shoot the shit and play a game together. It's just you lose something when it's a purely electronic experience instead of something that where you're kind of right here doing your thing. So. That's what I would always encourage anyone to just go and find that sense of community, and it truly changes your life. I mean, there's no other way for me to express that. It changes your life if you let it.
Here's the part that you lose. If I go on BGA and play a game with a group of people, right? When the game's over, we log off and we go back to our lives and do whatever we do. If I show up to YachtaQuest on a Wednesday to play War Machine, we play War Machine for probably 4 hours. And then we put away our models, and then we sit there for another 4 hours and converse and talk about either the game or life or whatever else might be happening. Yeah. That's what you lose.
Yeah, that's exactly what you lose.
So, and those times, those moments, for me, that's the important bit.
That's absolutely everything. Absolutely everything.
It is. It's everything.
That's also where you learn about the relative speed between a horse and a dire troll.
Here we go. Well, when that dire troll runs slower than the horse walks, I have problems.
I actually did that at Gen Con. Or remember this? This is a horse. This is Maul.
Bog. Yeah.
It's a core memory, man. I can't get rid of that one.
Sprints. Slower than the horse. Just does whatever. I don't know the proper equestrian term for that, but... whatever it might
canters?
Be. Canters? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the canter, yeah.
Or when...
can you picture that in your head for a second? Picture in your head a massive troll with a mountain on its back. Sprinting as fast as it possibly can. And here's a horse next to it. Somehow moving quicker than it.
Just sauntering along.
I cannot picture that, man. That drives me crazy.
But it happened.
It did happen. It happened, and it was forever. It never changed.
Yeah. Because he was, speed 4? And
4.
The horses were, speed 9?
Yeah, speed 9. So just...
oh, man.
Whatever you want to do.
The days.
Yeah. And you're carrying someone on that horse, too.
Yeah. And we also got, when new character models came out, and one of us decided he wanted to stomp all over it and piss on it. That's another. Sometimes you get that stuff too.
I mean, those are the things, man. That's the stuff that you're. It's the laughs, it's the emotions, it's everything that you share with each other.
100%.
I don't know. We wouldn't be able to. I'm gonna do this because this idea started with an argument. We had an argument, which. That's not going to shock anyone who knows us, but we had a disagreement. I don't even understand why we disagreed, but we did. I think it was just because it was too late.
4 a.m.
It was too late.
And alcohol.
It was too late it was early morning hours. The very last day after 4 days of gaming.
Grueling
Anyway.
days.
So the idea came from this, and I'll tell you right now, we are able to argue that way and recover 20 minutes later because of the relationship that we've established.
15 years? More.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
15
been
plus.
17, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 17 years. And that's, there aren't a lot of friends that you keep around that long, like true friends, right? That you keep around that long, and so...
And almost all of mine are gaming related. All of my longest relationships are gaming related, which...
Yeah, 100% of mine.
It's crazy to me that how everything grew out of this. It grew out of something that people used to make fun of me for, and before it got mainstreamed. Like we were around for the growth of Gen Con and how that just absolutely exploded, and we were around for when the best board game you could pick up was Catan, and now it's like
right.
There's all this stuff that's really good and worth playing.
Now it's brass.
That's oh wait a minute! Well, I thought it was Arcs.
Hey, best war game ever.
Yeah, apparently. So if you're ever, I guess like the whole thing to take away from this, if you hopefully take something away from it, is just if you've got the opportunity and you question whether or not you should really get in on something like this and go in on a community, whether it ends up being board gaming or anything else, you should, because all you've got to lose is 20-ish years of incredible relationships. And I'm going to put that back up on the screen just to underscore that again. Like these were all people that in my gaming group that just participated in a really incredible day for me. And you, what was the thing you said that what was the thing you said that I keep telling you? One of the things I remember from my wedding day.
The thing that you remember for your wedding?
Yeah, the thing you told me that from my wedding day that I said I always remembered.
With the toast?
Yeah.
Oh, where we got everybody together?
Yeah.
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, you said you can measure a person by the quality of the people around them.
Ooh, that's close.
And that's going to sound like me bragging about how cool I am, when really it's just I have all those incredible people around me that he referenced who I don't have anything to do with them being incredible people, but I have them all around me because of the community I joined and putting my time and energy into it. And there's just no other way to have those kinds of relationships than finding your people and just putting your time into them.
It's very true.
Yep.
People should be measured by the content of the character of those that which
There
they
it
keep
is.
company.
There it is.
That's the best way to do it right there. And I'll tell you right now, I have genuine love and care for everybody that's in this community, and the people who are watching this video, who I know are watching this video, know who I'm talking about. And I mean that sincerely. And, I love you, dude.
I love you too, man.
You're the best. You really are.
And my co-hosts and your co-hosts and just everyone else out there that we named or didn't name. I truly love you guys, and I don't know where I would be without you all. And someone would have to write me a very big check to pry my rear end out of Cincinnati at this point.
That's what I say too. I'm like, why would if I move, what happens? No way.
Then we've
Fly
got
in once a year for Comic-Con?
I guess we've got to make a board game
enough.
arena work.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, it's not.
Me. I don't know.
But do what you can when you can. I absolutely promise you that it will pay incredibly huge dividends in the end, because it's paid incredibly huge dividends for everyone in this group, in this community, and yeah.
We've literally supported each other through life.
Yep. So once again, remember, I'm Rick with Games and Drinks.
I'm Blue with We Are the Cave People. The Cave People. At We Are the Cave People.
At We Are the Cave People.
I don't know why it's different, but whatever.
It's all good.
It's a snafu.
It's all good. So hopefully you've gotten something from this. I think it's really been a personal thing for us to make.
I think so too.
I thought a lot about what I wanted to say, and hopefully it resonates with some of you, and you go out into your communities and really forge and nurture those bonds. Because like I said, I promise you it's worth it. So thanks so much. Smash that like and subscribe button.
There it is. Do it.
Yeah.
I love you, dude.
I love you too.
Good night.
See you later.